mobile gaming industry has witnessed unprecedented growth in the last couple of years. According to a report, India is now home to nearly 420 million online gamers. Wow. That is really something. Think of that number. So gaming in India became popular because of better internet penetration, the rise of mobile phones, and I think the pandemic. According to another report, the average time spent now on mobile gaming post-COVID rose to 4.6 hours per week. Thank God it's not per day. 4.6 hours per week is compared to 3.5 hours pre-COVID. Now, it might seem that converting a gaming idea to reality is a very complex process, but the truth is now, because of technological advancements, it's no longer hard to design and develop a game. Mobile game development has become very popular lately because almost anyone can now create and design their own mobile game. With low-cost development and app stores that made publishing apps very easy, game development is no longer a far-flung dream. The ease of accessibility has facilitated a push for developers to be able to meet their potential for creativity. This has now further allowed the mobile app industry to leapfrog ahead in ways no one expected. We meet Karthik to know more about how smartphones have helped developers like him.
India is accelerating at a pace where the gaming industry is going to see a threefold increase in value at about $3.9 billion by 2025. Among the gaming development companies that are catapulting the market to the top and taking the world by storm is Huego Studios, a prime player in 2D and 3D art and design outsourcing services. Ruling the gaming space for nearly 10 plus years and having built around 50 plus games, out of which 15 of those have reported over 5 million plus downloads, Huego Studios is a gaming studio today with over 300 people in-house.
We are the biggest market in terms of downloads. Yes, we are not the biggest in terms of revenue, but we are the number one in terms of the downloads. Right?
Going back to the roots of how it all began, it was a business opportunity from a client who wanted to develop an online game. The extensive use of the Coco's 2D game engine, post-delivery of the game, it was then the founders of Huego Studios realized the potential in the gaming market.
People were not okay to download a game which is more than 20 MB. I have did games which are less than 20 MBs. I worked with certain messenger apps where our intention is to build a game which are in less than 5 MBs. So that sort of a game was something that we were doing it earlier. Now what you see is the average user consumption of data is around 7 GB per month. Okay, that's a huge spike in terms of what you're seeing earlier. Now the users are open to download a game which has 100 MB of file or maybe 1 GB of file as well.
Huego Studios is creating magic in the gaming horizon, traversing through areas like art, design, animation, 2D and 3D. In fact, the team is adopting newer technologies and frameworks so that they can produce newer games.
As a game developing company, Huego Studios has seen a shift in customer demands for the kind of games that were downloaded initially and the kind of games that are being downloaded now.
It comes down like this. Like if you look into China market, they are mostly driven by these are PC gamers who are transitioned into mobile space. Whereas if you look into Indian market, these are hardcore mobile gamers, right? In the West, they won't call mobile gamers as a hardcore gamers, but that's the fact in India because what the mass market got adopted to gaming is through mobile platform. So that's the 101 for us. Second comes in terms of process support. That is very important because I'm getting exposed to an ecosystem which has some fun elements in it or some entertainment elements in it, which has to support me in terms of whatever elements I want to do within that ecosystem. And now the process plays a huge role. Again, if you look into earlier when we were collaborating with MPL kind of folks for some game development, these times we have been building some games like runner games, bubble shooter games, fruit chop kind of games. These are something that we are focused earlier. But what we are currently collaborating, right, with not just MPL, I would say with other folks as well, where we have been pushed towards a market where people have been used to these set of games, like these set of simple games. Now they are matured from that stage, and their preference has also matured. So they are expecting something to be played like a battle royale game where multiplayers are there. They are going to fight against each other. Fist fighting game, probably a card. tradable card games. So these are something that they are expecting. So that's also is a healthy sign for an Indian audience.
Karthik says that the processor plays an extremely important role while they are developing the games. It is, after all, the processor that helps in the smooth running of the games.
What Snapdragon has helped us is, it gives us more benchmark, I would say more lead time in terms of having this moment where the user or the phone gets heated up and it starts reducing the performance to an extent. I guess even a device with say 10 to 15k have better performances now. So it gives me as a developer to build a game where I can give a visual to the user, like in the graphics and on the renders, that they can play for a longer time, like 2x compared to the older versions, right, or 3 to 4 years before. And for the gamer, it's also happy. He's also happy, like he's having fun in an environment which is supposed to be the environment he's supposed to be playing, right? So that's a win-win for all.
So after the game has been developed, they test all the games on the phones to see how they perform. The games are tested under various parameters.
We pay very close attention to these two primary parameters, gameplay and device. Sometimes performance issue can affect the gameplay. In a way, it also because of the battery drain, right? Or it can drain the battery. So what happens if a battery drains? When a battery drains, it generates heats. We call it as thermal throttling, and in a way, a processor or the device triggers this event and it reduces the game performance. You might see some latency issues, some lagging in the game, and it tend to cool down the system. Like the main objective is to cool down the heat the device had.
Having studios in India and USA as the two main headquarters and branches in Kuwait, Miami, London and Mangaluru in Karnataka, with the emerging technologies, the team has worked on over 500 projects for their clients in India and across the globe.
While artificial intelligence and robots are taking the world by storm and also threatening to slash jobs, the gaming sector is something that you might want to look at, because what we see is the growth trajectory that's going to rise as far as the gaming sector is concerned to nearly 14.59%. In Bengaluru, with Kumar Shrija for NDTV.
Welcome to the show, Karthik, and congratulations. So Karthik, how did you think of starting to develop games?
Yes, so it was almost 11 years before. At the time, Facebook gaming was the biggest thing, like not mobile was not in the scene. So we got an opportunity to collaborate with a Singapore-based company who wants to publish a train-based educational game. So we developed that. So that was my first exposure to games. As in Huwego, my studio now. So we got into games through two publishers. One is Backis, another is Chris Miller. These folks are from US. They both are veterans in gaming space. So they were building kids educational games or kids entertainment games, like Old MacDonald had the form, kind of drag and drops, single gesture games. So we collaborated with them and built probably around 10-15 games for them, exclusively for kids market. And that's how we got into gaming industry.
Now tell me, how important is the processor of the phone to handle graphic heavy games and to help exactly what you do?
Almost 5 years before, right? So these are the times where we build games which are like 2D side-scrolling games. I worked with Chota Bheem IPs and other IPs, but these games are very minimalistic games. These games had 20 MB of size because the user didn't had a matured hardware to process these games. So we tend to work on games which are less process driven. Whereas if you look into it now, the users are mature. Like some of the folks have phones which are powerful than laptops they have, right? It has 8 to 16 gigs of RAM that can process things. So now we are looking into games which are multiplayer, which has synchronous gameplay, which has chat system in it, probably an audio chat in it, and these. So processor plays a immense role in terms of attracting Gen Z and the new set of audience.
Thank you, Karthik, once again. Congratulations. Great job. Snapdragon is calling all you Cell Guru fans to join their global community called Snapdragon Insiders. Now, this gives you access to the latest scoop on Snapdragon tech, a chance to connect with the experts behind the scenes, premium experiences, exclusive contests, and much, much more. See, I've been a Snapdragon Insider for a very long time, and you can become one too. Simply follow them on Twitter or Instagram. I'm giving you the handles right in front of me. And you also have a chance to win a OnePlus smartphone by participating in the NDTV Snapdragon contest. All you have to do right now is to go to ndtv.com/unleash your dreams.